took 32 random scary Funko Pops and I put them into a vote to let you guys decide on what the scariest Funko Pop is. And man, oh man, did things get pretty scary. I do votes like this all the time on my Discord server, Everything Funko. If you miss out on this vote and you don't want to miss out on any future votes, make sure you join the Discord using the link in the description of this video. I did this vote last year, and last year when I did it, Art the Clown won. This time around, I chose 32 pops yet again, all random, but they're completely different from last year. There's no overlapping Funko Pops with this year's vote and last year's vote. With that being said, the 32 scariest Funko Pops for today's Funko Pop vote are Victoria from Terrifier, Chucky, The Haunted Mask, Evil Ash, Bent Neck Lady, Patrick Hockstetter, Frank, Jigsaw, The Crooked Man, Hannibal Lecter, The Blair Monster, The Nun, The Grabber, Vincent Smith, Pumpkinhead, Captain Spaulding, Art the Clown, Count Orlok, Entity, Pennywise, Skeleton Man, Billy, Megan, Pennywise, Sam, Regan Floating, Jason, Bad Hair Day, Old Chucky, Goat Demon, Accordion Monkey, and Xenomorph. There are some really scary Funko Pops in today's video. Since Halloween is just 2 days away, I figured it would be very timely to do this scariest Funko Pop vote. Out of those 32 Funko Pops I just named, let me know which one you think is the scariest in the comments down below. But yeah, with all that being said, let's get into round number 1 of the scariest Funko Pop vote. Round 1 kicks off with Victoria Hayes and Chucky. Two really good Funko Pops right here. Very scary, both of them in their own ways. That Victoria Hayes Funko Pop is just disgusting, very gross, and it just fits the Terrifier series very well. Then there's also Chucky, and half of his face is missing, and I think that pop is so cool and interesting in its own way. But the votes are actually pretty far apart. I thought it was going to be fairly close, but it's not. Victoria won with 92 votes to 15. Then it's the Haunted Mask up against Evil Ash. Also two really scary Funko Pops right here. The Haunted Mask being from Goosebumps, and I think honestly some of the pops from that aren't your typical scary Funko Pops, but I do think they're scary in their own ways. But with that being said, I do think Evil Ash is the better pop here, and you guys did agree with me. Evil Ash won with 83 votes to 20. Then it was Bent Neck Lady up against Patrick Hockstetter. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Two very interesting scary Funko Pops right here as well. Honestly, I think this is one of my best votes yet because all the Funko Pops are equally as good. Like these two, honestly, I thought it could go either way, but the votes are pretty far apart actually yet again. Patrick won with 74 votes to 32, about a 40 vote difference, so it wasn't really close. I feel like that's going to be a common theme in today's video where the votes aren't as close as I think they should be. Like, come on, those are two very scary Funko Pops. Why are they so far apart? But anyways, moving on, it's Frank up against Jigsaw, and that is the Chase Jigsaw. That's actually a recent pop that came out. Pretty scary and pretty weird looking, but I would have to admit that Frank Funko Pop is scary, but that might just be me because I hate clowns. In the end, Frank ended up winning with 64 votes to 41. Then it was the Crooked Man up against Hannibal Lecter, and these two aren't really scary. Well, Hannibal Lecter is. I think the Crooked Man is less scary and more just weird looking. I guess it is scary, but it's scary in the way where it's just like, what is that thing? The Crooked Man won with 70 votes to 38. Then it was the Blair Monster up against the Nun. That Nun is terrifying, but that Blair Monster in the same way that the Crooked Man is scary. What even is that thing? That's the one they released for Funko Fusion, and I remember seeing that in the game. That pop and whatever it is just weird. Very scary in its own way. It ended up winning actually against the Nun, 22 votes to 86. It wasn't even close. Then it was the Grabber up against Vincent Smith. Two very weird Funko Pops right here as well. These ones are definitely on the less end of the scary versus some of the other ones we've seen so far. Vincent Smith ended up winning with 79 votes to 26. Then it was Pumpkinhead up against Captain Spaulding. And the scarier one of the two I would have to say is Captain Spaulding, but the better Funko Pop out of the two, definitely Pumpkinhead. You guys did agree with me too on the Discord because Pumpkinhead won with 87 votes to 16. Then it was Art the Clown up against Count Orlok, and Art the Clown won, and it wasn't even close. 98 votes to 7, a 91 vote difference. Not even close. I mean, that Art the Clown Funko Pop is terrifying. See what I did there? Terrifier, terrifying. Then it was Entity up against Pennywise, and I just have to say, what is that thing? That Entity pop is just disgusting. It's so scary. It ended up winning with 80 votes to 29, not even close. Then it was Skeleton Man up against Billy, and Billy lost with 25 votes to 81, and I mean, this makes sense a lot. That Skeleton Man is just disgusting. Megan up against Pennywise, and this Pennywise won with 90 to 16 votes. At least one of the Pennywises in this round won. And then it was Sam up against Regan Floating, and Regan lost with 15 votes to 89, not even even close. Then it was Jason up against Bad Hair Day, another pop from Goosebumps, and like I said, the pops for this are very cool and scary in their own ways. Jason ended up winning with 67 votes to, come on man, 67 votes to 39. Why is that funny? I don't even understand what 67 is, man. I don't get it. Then it was Old Chucky up against Goat Demon, and Goat Demon won with 69 votes to 34. And then finally it was Accordion Monkey up against Xenomorph, and this vote wasn't even close. Xenomorph won with 78 votes to 25. But that sums up round number 1. 16 pops were just eliminated and 16 pops move on to the next round. What do you guys think though? Is there anything you disagree with or even agree with? Let me know it all in the comments down below. But yeah, with that being said, let's get right into round number 2. Round 2 kicks off with a great battle between Victoria from Terrifier up against Evil Ash. And honestly, I'll just make it easy for you guys. Victoria won with 105 votes to 9. It just wasn't even close. How is this fair? Then it was Patrick Hochstetter up against Frank, and Frank lost with 31 votes to 81, a 50 vote difference. Once again, how is this even fair? Like I said earlier, I honestly thought some of these votes were going to be a lot closer. Like this vote should have definitely been closer than 50 votes. Then it was the Crooked Man up against the Blair Monster. Both of these Funko Pops, like I said, are just scary in the way that they are just, what are they? Like they're just weird. Votes weren't even close for this one though. It was 86 to 21 in favor of the Blair Monster. Then it was Vincent Smith up against Pumpkinhead, and Vincent Smith lost with 35 votes to 76. Then it was Art the Clown up against Entity, and this is a really good battle right here. Two very scary Funko Pops, but just looking at these two, the Entity Funko Pop is a lot scarier. Entity won with 80 votes to 31. Then it was Skeleton Man up against Pennywise, and Pennywise lost with 17 votes to 91. Sam up against Jason. Sam won with 76 votes to 38. This one is very surprising. I don't know, might just be me, but I think Jason is definitely scarier than Sam. And then finally for this round, it was Goat Demon up against Xenomorph, and Xenomorph won with 93 votes to 19. Not even close. A common pattern in this round, a lot of the votes were not close at all. Maybe that will change the next round, but what do you guys think? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. With all that being said, 8 pops were just eliminated and 8 pops move on to the next round, round number 3. Round 3 kicks off with a great battle between Victoria Hayes from Terrifier up against Patrick Hochstetter. I really thought this one was going to be closer, but Victoria won with 86 votes to 8. Then it was Blair Monster up against Pumpkinhead, and Blair Monster won with 84 votes to 9. Not even close again. Then it was Entity up against Skeleton Man, and Entity won with 77 votes to 16. And Xenomorph up against Sam, and Xenomorph won with 73 votes to 26. Once again, a round with all blowouts. What is going on? I honestly thought it was going to be a lot closer, but all these votes are just swinging one way only. But yeah, that sums up round number 3. 4 pops were just eliminated and 4 pops move on to the next round. Round number 4, let's get right into it. And kicking off this round, we had a great battle between Victoria Hayes from Terrifier up against the Blair Monster. Two very scary Funko Pops in their own ways. In the end though, Victoria Hayes ended up winning with 68 votes to 12. Then it was Entity up against Xenomorph, and I feel like this one shouldn't really be that close. Xenomorph is nowhere near as scary as Entity, and you guys agreed with me because Entity won with 62 votes to 11, meaning we can move to the final round. We have 2 pops remaining. It is Victoria Hayes up against Entity. Which of these is scarier? Let me know in the comments down below. Victoria Hayes had 73 votes and Entity had 57, making this Victoria Hayes Funko Pop from Terrifier the scariest Funko Pop according to you guys.